for a power after the 2020 election.
Fox is Ryan Schmelz. It's one of more than a dozen cases the Supreme Court has yet to decide on. America's listening to Fox News.
And when I change the audio
An
here,
important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell,
Yeah.
founder of Wesley Financial
it
Group.
doesn't change
If you
anything.
receive
It's
an
almost like,
unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley
and when I turn off the
for
audio,
assistance, and I'll send you
it's still
a
getting
timeshare
audio.
exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800
Well, we'll have to call him out of the break. Now remember, we got to do this contest at 7:20.
Yeah, I can't. There's nothing I'm gonna be able to do with this. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. This guy called again.
People are switching to Pure Talk, a veteran-owned company.
Oh, good. I've been trying to reach him.
Yeah, he said he can't bring his phone into his work, just leave a message. He works
Okay.
he said he works in Marcy.
His name is Along, Mike
Yeah,
Along.
Mike Along.
Okay.
Make the switch, same service.
Mike Along, come on, Mike Along.
Mike Along.
It sounds like how long of a mic you got?
I know.
2020 election-related federal case. A Trump ally convicted of contempt of Congress.
I went to Stanley last night for a concert.
Steve Bannon's supposed to report to prison by July 1st to serve a 4-month
Did you meet those guys?
He was
Yeah.
convicted
Who's
of
the other?
the
Kyle?
House
Kyle was the other
House
guy?
lawmakers
Yeah, Chris.
who were
Chris and
investigating
Kyle?
the
Yeah.
January
You sure?
6th
I think
riots.
that- yeah.
Lawyers for Bannon had asked an appeals court to keep him out of prison while he fights that
I need that other
conviction,
guy's.
possibly
Chris
all the way up
Brooks.
to the
I know
Supreme
him.
Court.
Oh, I don't know
But
him.
the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit said Bannon's case does
Here,
not warrant
do,
departure from the general
just go
rule
in there.
that defendants begin
For the
For the
serving
purposes,
sentence
say
after
we need the
conviction.
spellings.
In Washington, Jill Nato.
That'll be a good one.
Wall Street stock futures are down today after the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 came down from record highs, but the Dow surged, gaining almost 300 points. Nvidia's stock fell 3%, so its run as the most valuable publicly traded company was brief. Microsoft is back on top. Baseball's past was present on TV last night. There was a big game days after the death of Hall of Famer Willie Mays.
For the first time, Major League Baseball played a regular season game in the state of Alabama. The oldest professional ballpark in the country, Rickwood Field, hosted the Cardinals and the Giants on Thursday night in a tribute to the Negro Leagues. The stadium was the home of the Birmingham Black Barons, where the late great Willie Mays got his professional start in 1948. Mary Bonds, the godson of Mays, spoke about his godfather prior to the game.
I started following him around when I was a little boy. Every kid that I ever known, and every one of us that ever came to the ballpark always wanted to be Willie Mays.
That was courtesy of Fox, as the pregame was filled with tributes to the Say Hey Kid. On the field, the Cardinals improved to .500 on the season with a
At Syracuse earlier this week. The incident happened Tuesday on Carbon Street, and at least 2 of the victims remain in critical condition. 2 families were celebrating a major Muslim holiday together when the home ended up being reduced to a large pile of rubble. The cause of the collapse remains under investigation. Last minute preparations will be done today ahead of the 2024 Central New York Pride Festival and Parade. The event is happening tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. at Progress Park, which is located in the Syracuse Inner Harbor. The celebration will feature a variety of entertainment, including drag artist performances and more than 150 vendors. For the full list of events, visit cnypride.org. Summer has officially started, and the TSA is prepared for what could be one of the busiest travel seasons ever. The TSA Federal Security Director says travel volume out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport is expected to be very high over the next several weeks. It's recommended people arrive at the airport at least 2 hours before their scheduled departure. That should give them enough time to go through security and reach their gate without having to rush. The State Department of Transportation says its annual crackdown on underage drinking at concert venues is underway. That agency and others will be checking for fake IDs to make sure only people 21 and older are consuming alcohol. Locally, sweeps will be conducted at the Empower Federal Credit Union Amphitheater at Lakeview. In 2023, there were 312 concert goers, and bar patrons cited statewide for using a fake ID to buy alcohol. An Augusta man was arrested on charges stemming from a domestic incident. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, 27-year-old Lauren Lewis was arrested following a domestic investigation that occurred in the town on Tuesday. Authorities apprehended Lewis the next day and charged him with second-degree criminal contempt and for unlawful dissemination or publication of an intimate image. He was brought to Oneida County Jail to await centralized arraignment. And great news for Central New York coffee lovers. After slashing their hours the week instead of closing around 2 or earlier, the new weekday hours for both locations will be from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the new weekend hours for both Saturday and Sunday will be 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM News Time 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. For today, we can expect showers and thunderstorms likely, otherwise mostly sunny with a high in the upper 80s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight with a low in the upper 60s. Then for Saturday, a chance of rain and thunderstorms, cloudy with a high in the mid to upper 80s. Right now, 72 under clear skies at 7:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Yankees, wow, they really looked awful last night. They dropped back-to-back games in 4 of their last 5 after falling to the Baltimore Orioles 17-5 in their series finale. Luis Gil suffered his second loss of the season after allowing 7 runs on 8 hits over an inning and a third. Gleyber Torres went deep with a solo shot, and Aaron Judge slugged a 2-run bomb, but it was not nearly enough. New York now leads the AL East at 51-26, only a half game up on Baltimore. They'll host the Atlanta Braves for a 3-game set that begins tonight at Yankee Stadium. As Davey said earlier, Carlos Rodon getting the start. He'll have to stick it out for several innings as the bullpen is really beat up. The Mets will be looking to bounce back from their recent loss, which snapped a 7-game winning streak. They'll begin a 3-game series against the Chicago Cubs this afternoon at Wrigley Field. Veteran left-hander Jose Quintana is expected to make his 15th start of the season. The Mets are 4th in the NL East at 35-38. The Los Angeles Lakers have reportedly hired J.J. Redick as their new head coach. ESPN reports the deal is for 4 years. Redick is currently an NBA analyst for ESPN. He played 15 seasons in the NBA after being drafted out of Duke. The Lakers parted way with Darvin Ham after 2 seasons, after the team was eliminated from the first round of the playoffs by the Denver Nuggets. And a sad story for one player, sad in the sense that it's an opportunity blown. The Browns are moving on from a defensive lineman after he was involved in an accident. Police say Lonnie Phelps crashed into a Key West restaurant Wednesday night and charged him with DUI. Authorities say he was taken into custody after refusing to cooperate with officers, and damages are estimated at $300,000. Cleveland released Phelps on Thursday after he joined the team as an undrafted free agent just over a year ago. And of course, the Stanley Cup playoffs finals tonight. Florida will look to wrap things up as Game 6 is from Edmonton. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:11.
All right, we've got a bunch to get to. Some real issue stuff this morning that I like and opportunity. Anita Patullo on the Anita's Stephen Swan Humane Society later on this morning with this tension between them and the city of Utica in particular.
There is a lot of he said, she said, she said,
maybe
she said, he said, he
clear
said
it all
going
up.
on in the city for everything.
Yeah.
I saw something last night that I was just kind of sickened by, to be honest with you. It was the mayor and a few council people going back and forth on Facebook like it was high school. I mean, it is very public, the disputes.
I would give just a little bit of advice. The mayor this is just my take.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's worth, who knows? But I think the mayor has got to reach a point where he acknowledges that not everybody's going to love him. There are going to be people that are going to disagree. And sometimes you need to make a decision and it's going to make the other people unhappy. And I know he did that with the flag thing and all that. But he's constantly going back and forth with them.
Defending.
I wouldn't defend it. I would. You know, Richard Hanna used to do a really good. Whenever he, and believe me, he had people that refused to agree with him, but you always knew where he stood. Every vote that he ever made, he wrote about it, and gave his reasoning, kind of like the Supreme Court might do.
Mm-hmm.
And he just put out a little piece, and that was his statement on it, and that's why he did it. And it was really hard to argue with that. And I think the mayor he's trying to convince people to be accepting of his decision, and there's a group out there you're never going to convince.
And
so my
think of all the
sometimes you
time
gotta
and
be-
energy and frustration to go back.
Yeah, it's not
I
worth
mean,
it.
to get into a Facebook debate
It's not
with
even
somebody is.
It's like this whole
Maddening.
here's how it works here. We had the whole thing over the alleyway. Andrew reads Facebook. I come in the next day. He tells me. I go off for a few minutes, and then we move on. That's just how it works.
I know, and I shouldn't even do that because
Yeah,
it's
you're the one-
frustrating.
you're the one that gets
I've
it
fallen
going.
victim to it.
But
recently,
I'm not jumping on Facebook and going to start getting into a tit
back
for
and
tat
forth, yeah.
crap thing because it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And they're better off sitting down in a room and trying to figure it out. If they can't figure it out, we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And I think, is trying to make everybody happy, and that is a recipe for failure. And not
As Utica mayor, it's an impossibility.
it is impossible.
Yeah.
So when I'm saying you're failing, it's impossible to succeed. That's just what I'm saying. Okay, I gotta say, I had an incident overnight where I was trying to upload something, and it's a large file in the gigabyte fashion, 6.97 gigabytes. And I pay to be able to do this. I pay for gigabyte service.
Yes, you do.
And I began uploading, and it looked like it was going to be only about 13 minutes, which is incredible, considering I used to have a difficulty downloading a page of text, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it was. But, and I get up this morning early, because I knew there was going to be a problem. There was, and it had stalled. The internet had gone down, it stalled the whole upload. So I started it back up, and it went up pretty quickly, and I believe it's up there now. But this up and down with Spectrum Internet is just a real problem. It would be nice if we had an alternative, and maybe we do. Chris Brooks is from
Go Net Speed.
Go Net Speed. I love that. Go Net Speed, and they're laying fiber optic cables. So, what does that mean for the rest? What would it cost? How fast will it be? Is it like Verizon's Fios, where it's a constant speed? Or is it like Spectrum, where, 1 minute you're fast, the next minute it's terrible? We'll find out. They're in studio coming up next.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43.
Are you getting anything on our audio now?
We're pleased to partner with Syracuse University,
So-
providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education within great
Can you bring up the stream?
Hold on.
The IBEW to provide talented students.
God, why is it like that?
advance their careers, shaping the future of the electrical trades.
That other guy's not going on the air.
Okay.
He just wants to sit there and watch.
We do not allow that.
So he just said, I see the audio input was changed. Did that help?
That I changed the audio input because tell him that when I went back into the computer audio settings, it had been switched from the modem, from the audio device to desktop.
Oh, you got it working now?
I think so, and we actually had people saying, I can hear you guys in the background. I was getting some of that.
When Bill went back into the computer.
Well, is it working now is the question.
Yeah, is it?
I don't know. That's why
Are we up?
It's on, yep.
All your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Tennessee Street or online at unicacannabisco.com.
No.
Use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Moderate your children with cats.
So they can hear us right now as we're speaking.
Yes.
That's awesome. Let's leave it that way. Tell him no, it doesn't help. And if he can get into the computer and fix it, it would be nice, because right now, they're listening to our every word in studio.
I don't think we said anything that bad, did we?
I don't think we did. Oh my God.
So that's just any microphone within the earshot from us. So that's. Oh my God.
Go with your gut.
It says here that it's,
Based in the gut.
if he can get in and fix it, I don't know how to use a freaking PC, that's my problem. I don't know what to
I'm
do.
not gonna keep eating. I gotta call him.
Yeah, see if he can fix it, 'cause I can't do it.
When would you like me to bring in
Dana,
All I know is we have audio and we have video.
everybody's texting him. We can hear you, but I didn't say anything bad, so that's good. Oh boy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good Friday?
Alright, it's 18 after, we gotta come back.
Yeah.
Or mail fees to discuss.
We got 20 seconds.
Bring them in after 7:30.
No, bring them in now. And then with,
Yeah, 'cause we gotta bring in.
hey, so it's just easier to call you. I'm gonna put you on speaker with Bill here.
And I'll send you our
Here.
timeshare.
So,
Dave Chan.
hey, how are you? Just letting you know, for some reason, the audio source is all screwed up. It is literally picking up our ambient noise in the studio right now.
We have our YouTube stream.
Alright, I gotta go back on. I'm sorry to bother you this morning, I apologize.
You can just sit
Am I
here.
off camera here?
Okay, here's Andrew.
Thank you.
We gotta just do a quick contest, but we'll be right with you. I just hung up on him.
Oh, he has to go back. Alrighty. Okay, so what is really interesting is, and I kinda like this. The audio is not gonna be great right now, but it is.
I don't like this.
It is audio from in the studio, so whatever we're saying, whether the mics are on or off, is going on over the air.
We're not able to
I
talk
like
crap
that.
about people when we're off the air.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it is 7:19. In just a moment, we're about to call up the old savings bank of the Gold Dome Bank temperature line.
Yes.
Which is an automated temperature. We have all these people that have guessed. Down in New York Mills said it'll be 69.
What does the
Christina
old
Weisbrod,
iPhone say
72.
it is right now?
Dale and Utica said 70. So what is the temperature according to that app? What is the temperature?
According to my iPhone app, it is 73 degrees.
What is the temperature according to
M&T
the
Bank?
M&T Bank line? And we're about to call it.
All right, we got 8 seconds
And
here.
the person-
Somebody's gonna win an air
The
conditioner.
person who gets it right gets an air conditioner. So that's pretty cool.
So Chris, this number is a number that people can call, and the M&T Bank will read you back
it
the
is-
time and temperature.
Excuse me. It is now 7:20.
Let's wait and find out. Geez, we gotta go through the whole commercial here.
I know this is on. Their time is screwed up here. That is wrong.
70 degrees! Wow!
That means Dale and
Dale and Utica, you
Uh,
want an air conditioner.
Dale picked 70, close to him. Down in New York Mills had 69. Rob Connor in New York Mills had 71. How about New York Mills this morning? Representing this morning.
Yeah.
Dale and Utica, congratulations, Dale. According to, I'm not saying the temperature is accurate.
Right.
I'm saying that's what they're saying it is.
I mean, come on, their time said it was 6:58, so let's be honest.
According to that automated 6111, the temperature currently is 70. Dale in Utica wins a brand new air conditioner. So congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, in studio right now, and you're not going to see everybody in studio because our YouTube is a work in progress here right now, but in studio is Chris Brooks, and Chris is with a company called Go Net Speed. And the belief is that we may have a solution to our internet woes here in Central New York.
You mean the evil monopoly that is Spectrum, that being our only option?
I think we do not get the high-speed internet that we're paying for here. Now, will we? There's the big question. In studio, Chris Brooks, good morning.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
So we've been seeing your trucks. Actually, I've had listeners that have reached out to us and said, you know, and actually I know one, Joe actually stopped to find out, Joe Joseph stopped to find out what you guys were doing. He was curious. And,
neighborhood watch, I guess.
And reached out to me to say they're laying fiber optic cable. Are you laying fiber optic cable?
I suppose we should say we're hanging it. So
Oh, you're
all
hanging
of the
it,
fiber
okay.
optic
Yeah.
cables going up on the poles along the streets today.
So, today in general, so it's been going on for how long?
We started construction at the start of June. So
Okay.
it's been going on, actual physical fiber construction, for about 3 weeks now.
All right, well, news travels fast.
Good news travels fast.
Good news.
That's a
travels
great
fast.
point. And I've been
All right.
seeing the trucks everywhere and people out observing, your workers in the yellow vests.
I
And
wanna,
it's like, what is that?
I wanna be honest here, and I'm just gonna be in a layer. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Geneva, New York.
Geneva, okay.
So right in the
yeah.
heart of the Finger Lakes.
The Geneva Cubs. They used to be the Geneva
Old
Cubs
school
years
Geneva Cubs,
ago.
absolutely. New York Penn League.
I used to call games in the New York Penn League. So, all right. We had a guy on recently who was promoting a landline service and said, "You're going to get your old landline back. That reliable
yeah.
landline telephone service, you're going to get it back." But when I got him on the air, I said, "There are no wires." Well, that's not your old landline.
It's not landline.
Right? So he was basically, it's false advertising, because you can get that same device from AT&T or Verizon. It's cellular, really. That's what it is.
And the
Not
ironic
good.
part was during the interview he had terrible phone reception.
He had awful, it was
Very
unbelievable.
difficult.
I thought that was the funniest part. Anyway, so now I want to ask you, are you taking this beautiful fiber and connecting it to Time Warner's high-speed cable?
No,
Or
no.
are you going to give us a real product?
So when we build our fiber network, it is totally our own infrastructure, and we're going to be bringing fiber directly from the poles and our central office right to your house. So it's a dedicated fiber line right into your living room, and it's never a shared connection.
That's enormous. That's what you're doing, what Verizon failed to do for us with Fios.
Yeah, so some markets around the state have good Fios
They do.
services, but others were left behind. And
The Central New York, there are little parts, there are some parts that have it around our area, but for the rest of us, an exact example, I'm trying to upload a file over the last 8 hours that's 6.97 gigabytes. I have the gigabyte service, which costs a lot of money.
it's
from
not cheap.
Spectrum. And I'm up and down. 1 minute I'm getting 500 megabytes per second. The next minute I'm creeping at 22. That is, unfortunately, that's the world we live in with high-speed cable internet. Explain the difference with I'm sorry, I don't want to call you Fios, with your company, with
So
fiber.
the biggest difference with fiber, and I know the term solution to cable was mentioned earlier. The biggest difference is we're the option. So our technology is different, and the biggest difference for your upload speeds is we offer a symmetrical service. So when you get our 300, 500, 1 gig or 2 gig package,
You have a 2 gig package?
We do have a 2 gig package, and it's a symmetrical service. So it's the exact same upload speed and download speed.
And it's constant.
Regular, yep.
That we do not. Listen, I'll go into another city, go down to New York City, and the internet is completely a different world
For
down
sure.
there. And we come back and we think we're paying for something that's, really, really fast, and sometimes maybe it is. But then your wife's complaining because you can't stream, Housewives of New Jersey. Because the other part of this is that we've all been conditioned to go away from the box. They don't want us using the box anymore. They want us to stream. So now everything in your house is streaming, and it has just become an up and down nightmare. So this is a major undertaking though. I mean, laying or hanging all of this fiber, how long will it take you to cover the market?
We're going to pass about 38,000 homes over the next year and a half. We should
Okay.
finish the greater Utica area, as we're calling it, by the end of 25.
Okay. So
It's a massive project,
It
$60
is.
million investment. We're going all in.
So where else are you?
Yeah, 38,000 homes, that's a lot.
I am just so excited about this. Where else are you doing this?
So in the Utica area, we're doing the city, we're doing parts of Deerfield, we're doing New Hartford, New York Mills, all the way down south, Chadwick, Sequoia.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, let's say you live in Utica, if you started in Utica, Utica's gonna get that service first.
Correct.
And it's not like somebody from Whitesboro can call up and say, I want it this week, and you'll just run one line to Whitesboro. So you're basically blanketing the area.
Great word. We are blanketing the
Okay.
whole entire region, and no, they can't call in today and say we want it tomorrow. It's gonna take a little bit of
Yeah,
time over
yeah.
the next 18 months, but we will get you.
Do you know what it will do? I mean, just imagine, we have 6 radio stations in this building, and we're all streaming. Everybody's streaming at the same time, and the sales department comes in, they're all streaming. Literally, our signal coming from here, what used to be old telephone lines, is all done with cable right now. But you'll give us that option to be able to use fiber,
That's correct.
which will be more dependable.
And your upload is
all right.
gonna be covered.
Prices.
Yeah,
What are we
let's talk
talking
about that.
So our base package, our 300 by 300 starts at $54.99. 500 is $59.99. 1 gig $69.99, and 2 gig $99.99. And again, it's symmetrical. Those are residential pricing, so don't get excited. It is residential pricing. We do customize, make special packages for business solutions.
I'm paying more money for 1 gigabyte service that isn't 1 gigabyte service than your 2 gigabyte.
I
service.
laughed because I know Bill for more than half my life, and that look that he just got on his face was
I can't even believe
excitement.
it. It's like $130
Yeah.
for 1 gigabyte service that is never there. If I get 500 megabytes per second or something like that, I'm doing really well.
You're missing on the upload, as you were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
the upload, yeah.
You're probably getting 20 to 30.
Probably, yes. So what about upload versus download?
So when you're trying to upload your files,
Yes.
that again is going to be, if you get the 1 gig package from
Are
us, you're
you
going to get a 1
kidding me?
gig upload.
So this is almost as enormous. I remember sitting, I still lived at home with my parents when I first started working in morning radio, and the computer, the laptop, I had my first laptop, this was exciting, and there was the first morning radio shared service. So all these radio shows around the country would put submissions in, and we'd all share what we were doing, like we're doing the human billboard today, and then everybody around the country would be doing it. I used to have to download maybe 25 pages of text. It would take me 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this to me is that much of a change. This is an enormous shock. It's going to be a huge shock to people.
Well, 1 gigabyte per second. Like that's how it's measured. So we're talking a gig per second.
So
That is unbelievable.
So GoNet Speed as a company is probably, as I was reading, one of the largest fiber internet companies on the East Coast.
Correct.
You're in several cities in New York. How have they responded so far to the addition of service?
It's a lot like you fellas. Everybody's looking for that option.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in the Finger Lakes region, it's been picked up very heavily. So I come from a 100-year-old telephone company in the Finger Lakes, so we had a little bit more brand recognition. And then we moved to Western New York, and it really took off. Similar to the Utica area, FiOS stopped at certain borders.
Yeah, they
and
must
that's
have
where we
just-
continue.
What happened? Did they just see it? Are you formerly from Verizon?
No.
Okay. So what was it, a local phone company, a 100-year-old local?
Yeah, a
phone
local
company?
family-owned
Oh,
telephone
that's-
company for
that's
100
wild.
years.
We still have one around here, Newport Tel is still, I believe they're still locally owned. So I do think that, why did they stop? Why did Verizon say this is not profitable?
That's a question I wish I could answer.
Because they could have owned the market.
There's probably a lot of your listeners that are wondering
Yeah.
the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
don't understand it. All right, so there's price. When you market this, the average person is not a junkie like we are. So how do you market it? You just tell people, no more interruptions to your TV shows or
Yeah,
whatever.
Buffering goes away.
Yeah.
And consistency, reliability. We're not affected by weather. I mean, if you get a torrential storm with
Sure.
high winds, lines could come down, of course. But weather isn't going to affect your service. And again, we just market it. If you want to use the marketing word, is we're the option. We are
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
you the choice. And today, you don't really have a choice.
No, when they even say to you, cut the cable, you're going to cut the cable, you're not cutting the cable. Because you still, I mean, where else could we go? You could use a cell service that is not even close to fast.
Yeah, because guess what? If you have if you live in a geographic area that's a dead zone,
But even if
Good luck.
you get the best service here, it's still not nearly what you get in the major cities. We just don't have the same, we don't have it. And then you could go to satellite, very expensive, very slow. So they'll say, you have options. No, we don't. Now we do.
No, you do.
Wow. This is
So
exciting.
Dana messaging in, and I think I already know the answer. If our lines are all underground, would the company still supply us service too? You would, in the sense that you would probably.
How do you get to
depending on
those
where it
areas
is.
that don't have the telephone?
So our phase one project is completely based on aerial infrastructure. We are looking at expanding into those underground regions, but phase one of the project is all aerial.
And I know that this particular listener lives in a residential area of Whitesboro, so.
There are a lot of residential areas where they put everything underground, and I live in one of those areas, so. It's, now Marcy, here at this radio station, we gotta be pretty close.
Yeah.
In terms of your.
Yeah, absolutely. I
progression.
mean, everything that we're doing, again, we're starting in, our construction's going on right now in northeast Utica, and we're gonna spread west across the city. But we're always evaluating every other region in between here and there to see how we can best serve the residents.
And I think it would be up to some of the consumers as far as how much further you expand. You know, if you probably would get a good response from
I
customers.
don't know, I think you
here.
probably believe in your product where you know this is gonna go well.
We are very confident
Yeah,
that this
yeah.
is gonna, this is.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
just saying
succeed.
that hopefully that the community will recognize and support so that
you
we
know-
can get it up even further north or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
for sure. I mean, again, everything's based off of, I mean, we're a business,
Profit,
so we're
yeah.
we're trying to make money, but we focus on the very, very dense regions first. So we are going into the rural markets, but we're starting and then expanding out.
Sure.
So, but if we get a high demand,
Yeah.
of course, we're gonna investigate it.
This is Chris Brooks, he's from Go NetSpeed, and it is fiber optics, which is